I wanted to see if I can smack you into the lava.
Yes, you can!
They say when you die, you see your whole life one more time. As it turns out, I only see one moment in time, when I was trapped in my base, surrounded by the ever-growing taint that I caused. It was a long time ago in 1.8, and I was out of options. My last hope? A strangely formed box.
So here I am. Oh look, it's MCJty.
Hi.
Hi!
Can I help you?
Yes, I'm in dire need of help, please. I need to leave this place, and I need to leave it right now. Taint is crawling in from everywhere. I mean, take a look.
Oh, it looks really awful. I
does.
think you certainly need help.
I do. Can you get me out of here? I don't care how.
Okay, I think you are in luck because I brought some materials that can help us. I think the best plan that we have would be to escape from this place because it's really, well, it's really very, very bad. So I brought some things that can help us. We are going to make a new dimension. Is that okay for you?
Yes, please.
So we need a lot of power, and for that we are going to make a crystal. But that requires a relatively complicated setup, which we are going to make here. So the idea is that we need the lava, and the lava should go to this tank, but it should be about half full, and that's what this setup will do. So
half full, so it has the perfect amount of
temperature, because if the lava if there is too much lava in this, then the smelter, which will burn liquefied pure resonating ore, it will be too hot and the quality will be degraded. Okay, so it's now set to 7,600 millibuckets. It should be between 40 and 60%, so this is good. And because of this liquid monitor, when it goes below 42%, it will fill up again.
Okay, now I've got to ask, what did inspire you to create this mod about a different way of power generation?
There was a lot of discussion about how easy RF was, and people were comparing it to Buildcraft, for example, or to Rotarycraft, which have more complicated power systems and also more interesting power systems in many ways. But I thought, alright, RF is just a number. It's not actually the number that makes it interesting, it's what you do with that number that makes it interesting. So my goal was to try to make a power generator mod that needs you to think a bit about what you're doing. It's not just simply slapping down a generator, putting some fuel in it, and it will generate RF. So that was my goal, in fact. Make something a bit challenging. Let's put some ores in.
Ooh,
okay.
Fancy.
Yeah, so now it's liquefying, and you can see if you look at the top tank, at some point there will be liquid appearing. Okay?
Okay. There we go. Quality, purity, strength, efficiency.
So quality should always be 100%. If the lava amount was not right below, it would be lower than 100%. So that's an aspect of the liquid that you can't improve later.
Okay.
So it must be good at the start. That's very important. The three other values, purity, strength and efficiency, can be improved later, and we will actually also do that because we need to power a good dimension. So the first step that is important here is to purify the liquid we have, and for that there's a simple machine called the purifier. I put in some filter material and it will now start filtering the liquid on top. So you can see if you...
I can see. Purity is raising.
it is slowly improving, but this process has a limitation. It can only improve up to 85%. And we want to go to 100%, and for that we will need another machine that I will explain in a moment. So, now the filter material that is used will arrive in this chest here, and that's also important for crafting. So, but in this case we will not actually need it. So I will now put down the other machines while the purification is in process.
This is probably a good point to ask you what got you into modding in the first place. I mean, this is not the usual hobby, I presume. Whoa, did you hear that?
Taint spreading?
Yes. We need to hurry.
Okay. So let me put a tank there. Well, what got me into modding was I started in Minecraft 1.6.2. I discovered Minecraft, and it immediately appealed to me as a game where you could do whatever you want. And it was not long after that I discovered that there are also the possibility to play modded. And then in 1.7.10 I decided to try on my own with a very primitive version of RFTools, which at that point in time it was just a few simple things, but since then it has grown a lot, of course. This is still purifying, it takes a while. What you can do in other setups is you can use multiple purifiers with a bigger tank, for example, and then it will go faster. But while it is busy, I will simply set up the rest of the machine, so it's not really a problem.
Okay.
This tank will be the tank where the final liquid will arrive, that will be used by the crystallizer, and this is the machine that generates the crystal. So I explained earlier that you can only go to 85% purity with the purifier.
Yes.
So we need another machine to make it even better, and also to improve the other stats. First we need to put a lens on top of the tank, and the laser will shoot its beam at that lens. Okay, I put this the wrong way. Okay, so it's important. First you have the tank that you want to improve, then the lens, then there should be one empty space, and then the laser. So that's an important setup here.
Ah, so the lens counts as occupying one block space.
Yes.
Okay.
So it also needs a redstone signal. Okay. So this is the complete setup. So now it is important. There are various things you can do with the laser to improve the liquid, but you should be careful how exactly you do it. For example, most of the materials that you can use to improve the liquid, for example to improve strength, you can use redstone, but that decreases purity. And if the purity goes below 0, the liquid is destroyed, and you don't want that to happen.
And
so you should be sure that the liquid is pure enough, because before you start in using the laser, especially if you use very powerful materials such as a nether star. For example, I have a nether star here. In fact, I have a few, and if I insert that into the machine, it's not now at this moment disabled, so it will not do anything. But in the GUI you can see, if you open the GUI of the laser, you can see it will increase strength with 90%, efficiency with 90%, but it will reduce purity with 60%. So if your purity of your liquid is below 60, it will simply be destroyed. So then you will...
Did you hear that?
Yes, it was suspicious. Let's make some haste. Oh, it's bad weather outside. Okay. So the liquid is nearing 82%. I will start the infusing process, and I will use nether stars to get to the good result as fast as possible. But we have to be careful of the purity, of course. So I turn it on.
Ooh,
so it's now infusing. And you will now see, you see the purity drop in the tank. So I will insert some emeralds to make it pure again.
Oh no, taint is spreading inside.
Inside as well?
I'm not trying to hurry you, but I think we should hurry. This place is going downhill quite fast.
Agreed, but you have to be careful. If it is not pure enough, the power generation goes down as well. So, okay, but we're nearly at sufficient amounts of crystal.
I trust you completely. You're the expert.
Even experts can make mistakes.
Okay, that taint is out of reach. I guess we'll have to live with it. Oh
Yes.
my god. Oh my god. You seem to be quite active in the whole Minecraft scene. Not just modding, adding new content to your mods, but also browsing Reddit, answering questions. What is it? Why are you so very active?
Oh, I don't know. I just that's the way I am. Saw something drop from the ceiling there. I hope it's something serious. Okay. I just well, it's when I make something, RFTools of the deep resonance, I like to educate people about it as well. So that's one of the reasons that I'm so involved, is that I want to make sure that people know how to use it. So that's why I tend to want to help people and tend to be involved.
Do you think there is something about the Minecraft community that makes it stand out, that is special or different than other communities?
What I think is special about the Minecraft modding community is also what's special about Minecraft itself, and that's the fact that Minecraft is a sandbox game, that you can do everything in it that you want, and I see that a bit reflected in the modding community as well. There are so many different kinds of mods. There are tech mods, magic mods, but also mods that add funny things or decorative things. So it's really there are so many possibilities. There are mods that add ugly stuff that is falling from the ceiling. There are so many possibilities, and that's what keeps me really inspired. The options are amazing. There's something here, I think.
This is not looking too good.
Okay, and what I also like is how there's a modding community, but there's also what you could call the meta modding community. That's the people behind Forge that are making it possible for us to make these mods, and that's also very important. It's a very active group of people, and they really do an amazing job on making Minecraft modding possible. Because before Forge existed, it was of course also possible to mod Minecraft because it's written in Java, and Java is a language that makes it easy to do that kind of thing. But still, there were many conflicts in the time, and installing more than one mod at the same time was a bit of a challenge. So Forge made it possible to get a lot more out of Minecraft that way. Now there are mod packs with more than 100 to 200 different mods. That's simply, if you think about it, that's amazing actually. Because all those mods work together in a way, or at least they are not in each other's way. So that's really something that I think is well, it's what makes the Minecraft community so amazing.
So in a way, the Forgecraft guys are the unsung heroes of this community.
Sure.
How do you cope with criticism? I'm sure you will get your fair share of criticism as well. Being out there on Reddit, I just read yesterday that people report you for posting too many
I think
news.
that's actually really funny.
Indeed.
Some people. I don't actually understand it, but I don't mind really. It's not a problem at all. I know that in general many people like my mods, and that's fine for me. It's not everyone has to like them. That's unrealistic.
But do you have a favorite mod that's not your own?
Hard to say. Well, of course the obvious Wyla and just enough items without which almost nobody would be able to play. What is happening?
Nothing.
Okay, I hope you're right.
We'll be fine, I'm sure. How's the crystal coming along?
We are nearly there, you see? The strength and efficiency are at 99%.
Alright.
And the valve is set to 99 for everything, so in a moment, the tank at the bottom should start filling.
That's great news. Oh, does this laser actually hurt me?
No, it shouldn't.
Ah, great. Friendly laser.
Okay, let's turn it off. So here, the tank is filling.
Yes, it is.
Okay, and now we can, so this is completely empty now, and let's move it to this tank. Okay, now it's moving there.
Oh, this is nice animation.
Yeah, so you can see the crystal being generated now. This also takes a short time.
Do you do your graphics and animations yourself?
Yes, I do actually. I got a lot better in it because in the beginning RFTools was considered a rather ugly mod, and I must say I agreed with most of them. So, but recently I've been getting a lot better. I'm also using Blender now to make some 3D models. Okay, we are at 20% now. So it takes a while before it's set. In the meantime, while we are waiting, we can already set up the generator. Okay?
Oh yes, sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
I think over here would be a great place. Here?
Where? Yes, because yeah, the other places seem already a bit infected there.
Alright.
So you need sufficient, because we are going to make a pretty good crystal, we need sufficient blocks. Because the number of crystals that can be handled, so every block in the generator can handle at maximum 2 crystals and at maximum 10,000 RF per tick.
Alright.
So in theory we should have, we would be okay with 2 blocks because our crystal will be close to 20,000 RF per tick. But for more power storage it's better to use a bigger generator, and also in the future you could expand and add more crystals to it. So this is
not that there would be any future for this place, but
maybe not, but who knows? Maybe we can later return if we have some new way to battle the taint.
That would be nice. Maybe I have to invite Azano.
Yes. So let me put a simple block here. Here we will put the crystal. I will also because the power will fill quickly, I have some power cells from RFTools. These power cells are a bit special. This one on its own can hold 2 million RF, but in combination it's actually a multi-block structure, and it is only a multi-block structure if you use cards in it. For example, I will now insert a card, and so if you now open the GUI, you can see that it has ID 1. So if I now, it's empty now, so it will not be clear to see, but let's say if we make the dimension builder later here, I will put the rest of the power storage here. Not too close to the taint. And then you can insert the card here, and you can see every, for example, this one is now, there are now 3 blocks connected to the multi-block, so you have 6 million RF but instead of 2 million. But the others are still standalone, so I still have to insert the cards there. Almost there. And the special thing is, these, the one that is over there and these are now essentially the same multi-block structure. So they don't have to connect, but there is a slight cost associated with not being connected. There's a loss, but it's not much. In this case, the loss will be nearly nothing because the distance is very small. So, and also in RFTools dimensions, the loss is actually decreased. because these dimensions are more efficient at transferring RF. Our crystal is ready. Let's put it down here. And you see it can produce 19,763 RF per tick.
So almost maximum.
Yeah, and it should go to our power storage. So let's turn it on.
Whoa. Whoa. All right. That looks like some powerful machinery.
Okay. Okay, I forgot something. I have to enable input mode here. Because you can set every site differently, but I just set all of them to input, because otherwise they don't accept power. So now it should be filling.
There we go.
Also, if you look at the crystal, you can see it's slowly draining. So you see power left 98% at the moment. So it will be able to sustain us for a while. If we now go to the other side here, you can see the power is filling here as well. So it's essentially one single power cell now.
There we go.
I suppose we can set up teleportation system here because we needed to go to that dimension. All right?
Yes, please. Maybe while you're building the necessary machinery, you can give us a small, overlook over RFTool dimensions. You kind of outsourced this part of the mod into a separate mod, right?
Yes, indeed.
Why did you do that?
Well, first, there were many people who liked RFTools for its machines, but didn't necessarily want to use the dimension part. And to be honest, the dimension part of RFTools was really rather intrusive. Remember all the pages of dimlets you had in AY, for example?
Yes.
That was sometimes a bit annoying. There were also a lot of machines, and it was not easy to get rid of the dimension system. You could disable the builder itself, that prevented the creation of dimensions, but still there was a lot of overhead for people who didn't want to use the dimension part. And that included, of course, people on servers, because, well, dimensions on servers are often considered to be a bit harder. It can be done. If the server is configured well, it's no problem, but still, they want to consider it without the dimension part. And also for me, it's somewhat easier to manage, because as a separate mod, they are really more independent and more cleanly separated. If you make dimensions that are configurable, like Mistcraft or RFTools, because then there are so many possibilities, you have to consider so many options, you have to consider balancing. Mistcraft tries to do it with decay and instabilities in a dimension. In case of RFTools, it's with power. But there is a lot of things you have to worry about when making random dimensions. Also, technically, in the code, the dimension part of Minecraft is very little known. It's a bit mysterious in some places. It has improved a lot in later versions of Minecraft, but still it remains a complicated thing to program, actually. So,
speaking of balancing out features, you changed up the way that the dimlets can be created.
Yeah, that's right.
In the recent past. How did you go about it?
Well, I wanted to go more to a system where it needed to more actively create dimlets, and that system was in fact already present in 1.7.10, but it was not used a lot because it was really complicated, and well, some people used it, for example, to create some of the very overpowered dimlets, like for Draconium or for example UU matter, where you often have to create them because they are so rare that it takes way too long to actually find them randomly. And those people have actually used the Dimlet Workbench. That's the machine I'm talking about here. Mm-hmm. But in 1.9 and 1.8 as well, the Dimlet Workbench has been made more user-friendly because it's also more important. You will actually need it to create dimlets now. It's no longer an optional part of RFTools dimensions. It's an actual requirement, and it makes the mod more, in my opinion, more about constructing the dimlets, constructing the dimensions, and a bit less random, a bit less luck-based. So that's a bit the idea. There's still some luck, of course. You have to find the parts needed to make the dimensions, to make the dimlets, but still, it's much more construction work compared to how it was in 1.7. For reference, I just put down a dialing device and a matter transmitter. So these we are going to use to go to our new dimension. I didn't put down a receiver because, well, we don't actually plan on returning here. This place is way too dangerous. And in fact, so yes, so we don't intend on returning here ever. So this is Dimension Builder that's going to be used in a moment. It's fully powered now. And here I'm going to create a dimension. I have something in mind that you're probably going to like.
Okay.
It's with hills, green hills, and with gold pyramids and nice view in the sky, so you will see. And
that sounds great.
I already created the dimlets in advance, so I will make a dimension for it right now. Actually, I forgot something.
Well, while you're looking, what has been the worst idea that you have at one point implemented or tried to implement into your mods, and maybe later have thought, nah, I'm gonna leave this one out?
Oh, that's difficult.
Never had any bad ideas?
No, I wouldn't say that. I often have bad ideas, but usually they don't get implemented. They usually die before I get that far. I have had some things that were never released, but that's not because they are bad ideas. It's mostly because they were technically very challenging, and I didn't manage to finish them. And one of the most special that I really would like to continue at some point is the space projector. I don't know if you ever saw that video. It was some time ago, but basically that was supposed to be a machine that was able to project an area to another area, so you could use it from that other area, but it didn't actually copy, it projected the area.
Okay, whoa.
And it was almost working, but I couldn't get the details right. But, well, first of all, that machine ended up being changed into what is now the builder, so it ended up being useful in a way, but it still doesn't do what it was originally meant to do. That's one thing. But secondly, with 1.9, I think I actually am going to try to implement it again, because I think I know Minecraft better now. I have learned a lot since then. So, and I also think it may be easier now to do in Minecraft 1.9. So maybe we will still see that feature arrive.
So sorry for interrupting you. I guess you were telling me about the dimension inscriber. Oh, I see. You prepared quite a lot of dimlets.
Yes, I'm busy preparing something. Otherwise, we also have to be careful that the dimension is not too expensive. Shouldn't go above 20,000 RF per tick. One other important thing to note when making dimensions, when writing dimension, is that the material dimlets should always go before the dimlet for which they are meant. For example, we want the terrain, normal terrain, this one, to be made out of stone. So that's why the stone dimlet is before the terrain dimlet. So I made a dimension tab. It will cost 13,000 RF per tick, and it will, during creation, need 45,000 RF per tick. So that's actually, since these power cells can only produce 20,000 RF per tick per site, we are going to rearrange things a bit to make this work better. So let me get rid of those and pick them up, and we will, then the dimension builder will go faster. Put one here. I make the changes output mode. It will be okay because there are 4 power cells bordering the dimension builder, so it can now input 80,000 RF per tick, which is more than enough. So Are you ready for to leave this place now?
Oh, let me take a last look around. All those memories.
Well,
Let me go.
I first have to make the dimension, of course. So let's start the process. It will take a while. Okay, the dimension should be ready now. I will do the dial.
Thank you, Mr. MCJty, for showcasing your wonderful, wonderful mods. Sure, was absolutely nice to get to know the person behind those, to learn a little bit about you. I wish you all the best for the future. Do you have a hot scoop, maybe directly from the horse's mouth? Anything you can tell us about upcoming features in one of your mods, maybe?
I just released a new version of RFTools. One thing I may be able to spoil here that nobody knows about. It's a plan that I have for RFTools dimensions, because as the mod is at this moment, RFTools is ready. I mean, it's no longer beta in 1.9, but RFTools dimensions is still not completely finished, because it's not yet possible to create all the dimlets yet, because there are many missing links at the moment. And for that I have some plans that I think will be rather interesting. You know already that when a dimension is not powered, you will actually have the dimension will freeze. Entities don't move. There will be no new spawns, entire entities also don't do anything. But I have plans for a mob that actually only spawns in dimensions that have no power.
Oh.
And the idea with that mob, it will be needed to have the loot from that mob in order to progress to make some dimlets in RFTools. That's the idea. But of course it's a challenge, because the dimension has no power. It's the only way that these mobs spawn. They will immediately die as soon as the dimension has power, so you will not be able to make a spawner for it, for example. And surviving in an unpowered dimension is in itself a challenge. You need the phased field generator for that, for example, and also you get all kinds of debuffs. So that's my plan for making a new progression system in RFTools dimension. But of course, that will only be needed for the more advanced dimlets. For normal dimlets, you will not have to go through such extreme hoops. That would be a bit too complicated. But for more advanced, for example, for the efficiency dimlet, which is really a very strong dimlet, you would certainly have to go to do that.
So, guys, you heard it here first. Lots of contents coming for the upcoming versions of RFTools. I can't wait to see that mob, to be honest.
I have not made a mob before yet, so it will be a new experience for me as well. But
so did you decide on an art style? Are you going like a dark spectre thingy, or maybe monsters?
Something something ghost like, I think. I haven't fully decided yet how I will do it, but it's an idea that's brewing in my mind. So
leaving us with this thought, MCJty, thank you so much for being part.
No problem. Was gladly done.
Well, I'll write you a letter, I guess, from the other side, maybe.
Yes, let me know how it goes, but you should be fine there. It should be all beautiful and nice landscape.
Well, off we go, I guess.
Okay, good luck.
Goodbye. Ooh, fingers crossed.
Maybe I should have left with him, because it doesn't look too well here. Oh, it's chasing me.